Yes, our class is now recording, and we can now start. And I know so many of us are not that greyhound. So, can anyone tell us what change request mean in project management? Change request. Just raise your hand. Two people will go on. Have two people who want to try change request. All right, Echezona, that's good. I love your courage. And Azonta, yeah, Azonta is always coming up. Mary, good. All right, Echezona, you can have the floor.
Okay, good evening, Mr. Charles, and good evening, everyone. So when we talk about change requests, it just has to do with any changes to the original conditions that were issues or specifications that were issued for the project from the brief. Anything that's going to deviate from that, which is already recorded in the project charter, then you must pass through the change request process. So
All
that
right.
all the necessary people will have to look into it before it's approved. But if not, you'll be on your own for any changes you make there or for your cost you incur.
Good, you're right. Yeah, you're right. But let's hear from Azonta's perspective.
Good evening, sir. Okay, a change request is a document that is used when any changes are being made to either the scope, the deliverables, or anything at all that regarding the project.
Okay, it says a document and it's equally a process. And Mary,
Yes, hi, good evening, Mr. Charles. I agree with what the other two persons have said, but I would just say it's a formal proposal or a formal document to effect a change or an alteration in a project brief, maybe to add to it or maybe to remove from it, but it's a formal proposal or a document to do this.
okay, that's good. Well done, all of you. So let's drill down a bit on this change request because the definition we received from you is it's at high level. I want it in low level. Can someone break it down a bit? I want from different people. It's not only H we have in this class. H is doing well, but yeah, other people should come up. I don't want Azonta and I don't want Mary. I want other people. Emmanuel, Ajayi, Amy.
Okay, good evening, Mr. Charles. So, to me, in simple terms, change request, it's just like everyone said, it's a document that shows, okay, there is a change in scope of the project. And we know that this change in scope will affect maybe the time that the project will be delivered. This may affect maybe the quality or anything. So anything that will affect the scope, so it has to be documented legally and formally to show that, okay, you requested for this, and I, as the project manager, we work on it. And this is just like a formal document to show that you requested for it, and this is what I'm working on. So that later maybe in the future, by the time you want to submit the project, there is no query like, why is this like this? And the likes. That's my understanding of the change request management document.
Yeah, you are almost there. Yeah, because you made a mention of quality, you made a mention of scope, you made a mention of timeline. and when you add budgets, yeah. So this is a change request. When the project is already going on and you want alteration, you want anything within the requirements to be changed. It's either you want to add something, you want to remove something. When you are removing something, it might affect the quality. When you're adding something, it might affect the quality. When you are adding something, it might affect the timeline. When you are removing, so this is a change request and it needs to be documented. Okay, we are getting it. So why is it important that we must capture this change request officially? Why must we document change request?
I think first I might say to record every revision to the original scope of work, be it quality wise, be it accessories or anything components of that particular project. Because if we don't have the record of all the changes once the project has begun, and based on approved scope and quality and everything, if you don't have the record to document the changes which were made and why things were, that means even your final report of how we arrive at where we are, it might be difficult to track what has happened.
Okay.
So that it's just a formal documentation to ensure that everything is in place, both your costs you incurred, the work done, and why the project turns out the way it is. Because you can either be a rev up or a rev down on the outcome, maybe the features required for that particular project. But all this needs to be documented to show how everything is transforming from from its original state to the point of close out of the project.
All right, thank you. Okay, Andrew, let's hear from you.
Okay, in addition to what a lot of what Echezona said with regard to why the change request has to be documented. One, it says both the project manager and the sponsors of the project from legal actions. Two, most importantly, as a finance person, change request is very important because of cost differences. So whenever there is a change request, definitely there is time lag. Because of time lag, there is mostly going to be cost differences. So documented change requests will bind the project manager and the sponsors to agreement.
Okay, I where you hit it is where it brings what is going on to the knowledge of the project sponsor for them to stakeholders. Getting stakeholders, we call it stakeholder buy-in. You help us to get stakeholder buy-in. Stakeholder buy-in is stakeholder support. Okay, but there is one more thing we need to hit and we'll be complete. One more thing. Let's know if these last callers will deliver that. Andrew hit it, that stakeholder buy-in, number one. There's another hit. I need it to be 2 things you will hit, and that will summarize it. Let's hear from Chiamaka.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, sir. So, from the knowledge that we got from project plan and what project plan is.
Very, very,
It's about
very, very-
getting day-to-day activities on check. So I feel that that's one of the main reasons why it should be documented to make the effect on the project plan that we should run with.
Yeah, you still you're right, but you still say what every other person have said. Okay. We're not going to go too far again. When we capture from Wilson and Raphael, then we hit the ground running. So Wilson. Okay, we don't have time. Wilson, I don't know if you raise your hand. Okay, let's move to Raphael, or maybe Wilson is probably okay. Wilson is coming up. Okay, Raphael. Okay, we.
Can you hear me, Mr. Charles?
Okay, Raphael. Yeah.
Okay, good evening, sir.
Yeah, we're done.
Okay, I think the reason why project changes should be captured is so that the teams might not have to work on unauthorized changes, because if it is not documented, now it could lead to assumption. But when it is documented, everybody knows that yes, such changes were both agreed, both from the stakeholders and also the project manager. So there will be no need for ambiguity or assumption. So the rest of the team members will assume and probably not work on unauthorized changes. So that's also one thing I believe other members have suggested.
All right. Thank you. Well, like I said, we are not going beyond Raphael because of time. Sorry, Stella and Philip. I was looking for a particular terminology, which is a very key technical jargon in project management. It's very, very key. And that is what we call scope creep. Have you heard about scope creep? How many of us heard about scope creep? Scope creep, this is the easiest way. As a matter of fact, if you are going for an interview and you meet an experienced hiring manager, he must ask you, how do you manage scope creep? Scope creep, how do you manage it? And this is where you are going to use a scenario of change requests to show your expertise and tell you how do you manage scope. The easiest way you can, fall into a scope creep is not to document any change and get approval for any change. You know why it's important? Once you document it and get approval, another budget is going to be supplementary budget. We all hear about supplementary budget all the time in a project. Yes, at times we have unforeseen circumstances, things change, and you have to go for additional budget, or the stakeholders might want things changed. You can tweak. If you are working on a software, you can say, okay, we don't want it this way, tweak it this way, or tweak it this way. It's not easy as we are saying it, because so many of us, you are going to fall for this kind of pressure. We have some stakeholders, what we call it, you see some people, when you start a project, they will start throwing requirements from the window. From the window. Yeah, they'll just say, hey, Charles, how you doing? Yeah, good man. Please, can you capture this for me? It's important. Management wants it. It's urgent. You know? And if they've called you good man. If you are not careful, it's okay. You say thumbs up, and you just say, yeah, team, they want us to add this. You add it, boom. And your scope will do boom. Your scope will expand. You start struggling. By the time you add it, you start struggling. By the time you start struggling, and if the project audit, they say what is happening, you are not going to say, Mr. Philip asked me to do this. What do you mean, Mr. Philip? You don't know. You need to document every change. And that is what we call scope creep. You've deviated from the original agreement. Scope creep, that is the monster facing a lot of project managers. And a lot of young project managers fall for this. You'll be capturing small requirements. But that small requirement, before you know it, it will become a very big requirement, and you start struggling with your budget, you start struggling with your timeline. A pure example is, okay, see a scenario here. We are implementing Dynamics 365 CRM. And in Dynamics 365 CRM, Dynamics 365 CRM have so many features. One feature of Dynamics 365 CRM can take us like 3 months to implement, configure, and customize. It can take us 3 months to do that, the way it should be. And you have been released, a budget has been released for you to implement lead management. Lead is one feature of Dynamics 365, and you've agreed, the team, the management agree of implement lead management alone. Lead management alone. While you are implementing lead management, somebody within the marketing can just come say, oh, HA, I know you are a good man. You know, it's just a click of button. We want this integration now. You need to integrate the Dynamics 365 with LinkedIn. We need it. We need that funnel now. If you look at it, integrating LinkedIn with Dynamics 365 might look simple. You might just say just a click of a button, you just got it integrated. It's not as easy as you think. When you start integrating these two applications, you find out it can take you like even 2-3 months to do that implementation. You have already captured it on top of lead management, and that's where you are into scope creep. You start struggling. So understand your requirements. Understand their requirement very well. And when such a scenario comes, say no. No is no. And this is where project charter becomes very good. In a situation like that, all you need to do is refer them to project charter. This is the original document governing this and lead integration, LinkedIn integration is not part of this scope here. We are not doing it. If you want it, okay, fill a change request form. When a change request form is filled, it's not only you, the project manager, is going to take decision. We have what we call change board, change control board. You need to constitute a change control board. And the change control board will look at the change, evaluate the change, the impact, the negative impact of the change, the cost implication of the change. All this need to be evaluated before they will decide on approving the change or not approving the change. So when the change is approved by the board, they will make additional budget for it. They will extend the time for you. a lot of things will be added for you to incorporate that change. And that is it. You see, you are not going to struggle if there is a change. Change is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. But if you do not capture change in a very good way, it's very dangerous. It's going to destroy you as a project manager. Yeah, we have this basic understanding of change management. So let's look at our notes, how we can create a change request, templates we can use, an example of a change request. And after then, if you still have more questions, we address your question. Okay. Let's understand it very well. So change request management involves, like one of us said, a document, and I quickly pointed out that it's not just only a document, it's equally a process. So it involves the process and procedure used to manage any change to a project scope. It's not only project scope, we have project timeline, we have cost, and we have quality requirement. Anything that will affect the original scope, timeline, cost, and quality is a change. Effective change management helps ensure that changes are aligned with project goal, stakeholders are informed, is important, so that you buy stakeholders, call it stakeholders buy-in. Stakeholders buy-in is very, very important. If you don't buy secure stakeholders buy-in, and there's no way they are going to approve it, and you can only secure their buy-in when you are following the due process through change control board, and any potential risk will be minimized. It comes with a lot of risk. That's why you need to consult, set up a board. You the project manager, you do not have the right. Let me make it clear to you. You do not have the right to approve a change alone. Because if you approve it, you are going to bring the money. And you don't have the money. So it's only if you are the project sponsor, you are the project owner, and you are the project manager. Where in that capacity, you have the capacity to board. There is what we call change control board, who seeks to that. So these are key terms here. We have change request. Change request is formal proposal to modify project documents, deliverable, and baseline. Formal proposal, that is change request. Then change control process is structured approach to evaluate and approve and implement the change itself. So that's it. Importance: maintain project scope. You need to maintain your project scope. Ensure that the project doesn't lead to scope creep. That is it here. You see this key phrase here. I want you to cram it. Even if you don't want to understand it, cram it. Cram what it means as a project manager. It rolls out of the mouth very well. So I don't see the reason why you shouldn't cram it. As you are cramming it, even if they ask you, they wake you from sleep, because this is what is going to destroy you as a project manager, scope creep. And you will think I'm joking until you find yourself struggling. You will remember Mr. Charles. Okay, scope creep. It will lead to scope creep if you don't manage it very well, which can delay the project and increase the project cost. This is where you start struggling. You start sweating like Christmas goods, you know, when you're already out of your creep and the project is delayed already. You don't know, you start querying how come, but you cost it. And when the project delay, just like Andrew said, that is what we call knock-on effect of delay. Any project delay must affect the finance, the cost. It's because the delay, all the people working on that project, they get paid every day. Even if they don't start the day they're supposed to start their own deliverable, they continue paying them. So when there is delay, there is need for additional cost.
Sir?
Please put yourself on mute. It's not time for questioning. It's not time for chat. Sandra, I will chuck you out of here. Say you greet me first. No, Richard. Okay. It equally enhances communication. Change request management enhances communication. It keeps stakeholders informed about the project adjustment and gain their approval. Then the approval is what we call buy-in. You need to buy their support. Buying their support doesn't mean giving them bribe. It's doing what you are supposed to do, being transparent, and it mitigates risk. During the evaluation of the change control board will analyze the risk and look at the impact of the risk and see if something they can take or not. If the risk is worth it, they will take it. They make additional budget. They will extend their timeline. But if the risk doesn't worth it, they will not agree to that. You know? So that is, for instance, if you are a project manager organizing an event and a wedding, you want to extend the wedding because you want your wedding to be in an open field. You want to change the date. You don't want it in a hall. You want it in an open field. So you analyze the risk of extending the date of your wedding. Maybe you want it during Christmas period when there is no chances of rain. But if you do it now in June, you want it outdoor, you know rain might mess you up. So it's up to you to evaluate the risk involved. That is what the change control will analyze. Is it worth it extending this wedding till December because of just want it to be held out? What is the special thing of having this outside? This can be a change request. So it has to be analyzed. For instance, if you are the wedding planner and the wife come to you, I don't want this wedding on June. I want my wedding on December. I want my friends. I want everybody to come open field because I'm expecting Davido to perform this and that. You said okay. and you extend it. Did you ask the husband? That is it. So you cannot take decision as a project manager alone in some cases like this. You need to capture it and set up a committee to analyze it. If after analyzing it and the stakeholders, which is the wife and the husband, and maybe even the parents, and everybody agree and say, okay, this wedding, we've already issued out card, but because of this, we're going to do another card, we're going to communicate, we're going to do a lot of things, we're going to change a lot of itineraries, even the food will go. So it's up to you. These are risks involved. This is just a scenario. So this is risk. And change request management ensures quality as well. If it's not managed very well, it's going to make the quality of the project to become a bit watery. You're going to reduce the quality. So, but if we capture very well and all the necessary commitment, budget, approval is secured, then good. So ensure that changes align with project quality requirement and objective. So you look at quality standard. We just finished quality control, quality standard ESD. So as we are changing, we put our one eye on our quality. How is it affecting the quality? Is it still, are we still going to get good quality after we capture this change? Yeah, if that's the answer, good. Okay, types of project changes. These are areas where changes can come from. Can come from other, but these are major areas. Number one, scope change. Scope changes, modification to project deliverables and requirements. These are the scope. Then schedule. Schedule, when we talk about schedule, we'll talk about timeline. A change can come within the project schedule, extension of time. So adjustment to project timeline or deadline, that is schedule. Another one is budget, revision in the project financial requirement or budget, and then quality changes. Adjustment to the quality standard, testing requirements. You know, if you want to change the quality, like shifting the goalpost, there must be a strong reason why the quality must be meddled with. You must. So that is not going to be your decision alone. For instance, now you cook a pot of soup for 10 people in an event. You just want to give your husband a small birthday get together, and you cook a small pot of soup for 10 people, very solid, thick soup. And this small birthday surprise turn into a carnival, and you have 20 people. You see something like that? Are you going to pour water in that soup so that more people, so you can be able to serve more people? What are you going to do? This is quality. You already have a quality, the catering here. Before the catering, because the catering will not agree to that. You take, well, maybe you give this to a catering to supply this food, and you take the catering person to pour more soup, more water on that soup, so that you're not going to agree. You must have a strong reason, because this is the quality standard for here. So it's just a scenario. So before quality can be changed, there must be a strong reason for a quality of a project outcome to change. Then how resource changes, modification in resource allocation or personnel involved. Resource allocation, modification, material resources. We've seen that resources can come from even software licensing. Software licensing, if we have agreed that the software license we are buying for is for, because in software licensing, like in Dynamics or Dynamics 365 CRM, the number of people that will use that system will determine the cost. If it's only 2 people, you pay for 2 people. If it's only 3 people, you pay for 3 people. If it's only 4 people, you pay for 4 people. If the original agreement is that we want it for 3 people, then, and all of a sudden, we said we want it for 5 people. That is, it's going to be a resource, more people, so we need more resources. You can see that. Or we initially hired 1 business analyst, and over time, we see the business analyst struggling, and we'll say, this business analyst cannot do this alone. You need to add additional business analysts. We already agreed that it's 1 business, that is human resources. These are, I'm just trying to show you how changes can come in different ways. It's not only when they ask you to add another feature. These are all changes involved. So just for you to open your able eyes and see that changes can come in different ways. Okay. The change request process. If you find yourself in a situation that you are now dealing with a change request, what do you do? It has happened. How do you handle it? Follow this process. The wedding that is supposed to be on December, the wife is insisting that he wants it to be on, the wedding that's supposed to be on June, the wife is insisting he wants it to be on December because they want the video to come and perform. So how do you handle that? You have already sent the invitation card. You are the wedding planner. So first, identify the need for change. You recognize trigger for changes such as new client requirements, unforeseen issue, or technical advancement. Make sure you capture there is need for change. Understand there is need for change. It can come in so many ways, unforeseen circumstances, like in COVID-19. That is a very clear example of unforeseen circumstances, or technical issue, like capturing, someone is insisting you need to capture LinkedIn integration so that they'll be getting a lot of lead immediately. Yeah, but it wasn't budgeted for. So these are various, you need to understand there is need. When that's done, then the second step is going to be to document the change request. Descriptions. Detail the process change, including the reason for it. Impacts analysis. Outline potential impacts on scope, time, cost, quality, and resources. Supporting document, attach any necessary supporting document evidence for supporting the change. And then the change must be submitted to the appropriate quarter. The appropriate quarter is the control board. Submit this change request to the project manager, and change control board. Change control board for review. So it's important that as a project manager, even if you are not using it, make sure there is a change control board, you said, a committee that handle such, or if you don't ask because they might be the company or organization have it, know 1 or 2 or 3 people that constitute that change control board. Change control board will assess the change. Assess the change, this CCB or designated reviewer assess the change request, focusing on feasibility, benefit, cost, risk, and alignment with the project goal. So, you see, this is an independent body. You, the project manager, sure, you are going to be part of the change control board, but you are not going to review it on your own to avoid bias, because you can feel emotional about it and approve it, and you shoot yourself on the leg. You might say, oh, this is a wedding is special day for women. No, this must be approved. Let's just give it to her. It's her day. It's her day. And at the end of the day, you go and start crying. Make sure you follow the due process. Let the change control board review that wedding change from June to December. If they approve it, good and fine. But if they say no, we are not going to change it, we already paid for the hall, and the hall is enough. You know, we already issued an invitation card. We can't do that. So many important dignitaries, you know, top people are coming, governors, senators, influencers, celebrities, church leaders, you know, all these people, captain of industries, we've sent these things. They are coming. We can't change the date at this point. So it's not going to make sure you remove yourself, because emotionally you are just going to approve that change because you want that lady to have her day. So, so make sure there is a change control board. Decision on the change request. There is 3 situations, 3 likely outcome of the decision. 1, approve, reject, or defer. That's why you have to send it to the board. You don't know what the board will come up with. Approve, the change is deemed necessary and beneficial, and move on and move forward with the change. So once move forward with the change, necessary provision will be made, budget, change of resource allocation, timeline, extension, name them. And reject. The change is not aligned with the objectives or is not feasible. Yeah. The husband can say, no, we don't have, after wedding, we need to eat, you know, because we want us to invite the widow. We want to, is it not money we're going to use to invite the widow? You know, women and their way, you know. So, and make sure you follow the people. If they say no, then you say no, you are not, you didn't hire yourself. So, I know women here, they believe Mr. Charles, and yeah, is it not you people's way? Am I lying here? Men in the house, am I lying?
You are right, sir. You are right.
They'll tell you, I want the video in my wedding, it's my day. But how the man will say, the man down the cheek, I sold one of my shop in Alaba market for this wedding. What is this woman talking about? Yeah? Oh. All right. And deferred. It can be deferred. The change may be reviewed later if more information is requested, is required. and here implement if approval. Once approved, implementation. Update the project document, timeline, and tasks accordingly. Communicate with relevant stakeholders and allocate resources. You allocate resources because resources will be approved for you, and then monitor and track change implementation. Track the progress of the change implementation, document any issue, evaluate the impacts of the change, and ensure it aligns with the project goal. So that's it. So let's talk about change control board. You've heard about change control board. Yeah. The change control board is a group of stakeholders, including the project manager, key sponsors, and technical leaders, responsible for reviewing, approving, or rejecting change requested. The change control board ensures that only beneficial and necessary changes are implemented. No, they are very disciplined team of people. They don't look at all they can be biased. So keeping the project aligned with the overall goal. And so these are their responsibility is to evaluating project change, approving or rejecting changes, ensuring change align with the strategic objective, and minimizing project disruption due to changes. And tools we can use to do that are what we call change log. Change log. A document for tracking all change requests approved or rejected, including description, impact, and status. So there should be a change log where it's just a document where you'll be recording all this, just like the red log will have if you are a developer they keep they are very meticulous about keeping their change log. Everything that changes, even if it's a small change in code, or they will keep everything documented. To have equally red log, no red log, a tool to document track risk, action issues, and any decision related to change. So you can equally use red log to capture change. It's a kind of a risk. So if it's reviewed and is implemented here, but it's a risk because it can disrupt the project. You can capture any change as a potential risk until it's analyzed, mitigated, and handled very well. Then you can close it up. So, example here of a change request. For example, in the food truck expansion, expanding a food and grocery delivery from Rivers State to other states in Nigeria, the project team might encounter requests to add new delivery zone. Okay, now they want to add a new delivery zone outside, because when this kind of expansion is going on, you might say, okay, we don't want this, and all of a sudden we started getting pressures. So we want this here, we want it, we want, and also, okay, where people are really requesting for this, let's just expand to additional, for instance, maybe let's use Enugu, say we are going to expand to Enugu main city, Enugu metropolitan, and all of a sudden we start getting pressure. Yeah, we want another delivery zone in Soka Owe. Another delivery zone is going to cost a lot of money, additional budget. So a change can come like that. If you are not experienced, You might ask of a site mate, we're having traction. We're having traction. You start rejoicing. Yeah, this is what we're looking for. This is what we're asking for. People are asking for us to expand. Yes, people are asking for you to expand, but do you have the budget for that expansion? That's what you ask yourself. So don't just jump out of emotion. That's why we have a dedicated board. Me being the director, when the whole thing comes on my table, I say, yes, I know that people are excited, but we don't have that budget. It's better we don't expand now than we want to expand to Nsukka as well and expand in a very shabby way. We didn't come out the way they expanded. They want it. And it might become a negative impact on our brand that we just went to Nsukka to mess ourselves up. So that's it. So it can be a change in a way. Or we can say, okay, yeah, we'll be there because of UNN. We want to go there, and once we capture the UNN, it's going to go viral. We can even go borrow more money to expand. So it's based on, it's left for the team, the control board to review all this analysis I'm doing on my own like this. It have to be reviewed. I'm not going to be doing it on my own. I'm not going to be thinking of, we don't have budgets. Can we borrow? We want to impress UNN from UNN. These are all the factors the board need to look at. So, in the case of new delivery zone, adjust timeline or allocate additional resources due to regional differences. A structural change management process will help assess and manage change requests effectively. So look at a change document crafted for this purpose. Here we see the change title here, and the field will have change, that is request ID, capture the request ID CR02. The requester who is requesting for this change, that is local operations manager, and the date and the scope, and change description, and then reason for change, capture the reason for change, and then impact on the scope, capture the impact on the scope, and then the impact on the timeline, like CC the timeline, plus 7 days. Is going to, for this to happen, we need to add additional 7. That is the impact on the timeline. The impact on the budget, if we need to do this, you see, we need additional 5 million naira. Do we have that 5 million? So these are the same. Quality on the project, enhanced service availability and delivery. Yes, it's going to increase the quality, yes, but do we have this money? You know, decision approved. So I'm here and they've already approved the budget. So now they've approved it. Yeah, they have already made the arrangement for additional 5 million, and the project manager will control. The approver is going to be here, the board, the project manager, the change control. So it's not only you, the project manager. You cannot approve alone. So you are going to be part of the change, because even if we are not part of the change, if you are bringing a change, that are automatically giving you a ticket to be part of that. An organization might, through the PMO, we'll talk about PMO, Project Management Office, might have a statutory change board. You know, project managers are not statutory. So because you're a project manager doesn't mean that when another project manager is bringing a change, you are going to be there. So, but when you are bringing a change, you are the one bringing it as a project. You are the leader of that particular project. Automatically, you have secured the tickets to be part of, and you are going to be there to discuss it and seek to the approval or disapproval, but it's not going to be your decision. And then the implementation date. And the best practice, if you're planning to embark on this change request, involve stakeholders, regularly communicate with stakeholders to get their input and approval on changes. That is, stakeholders here is the board, change control board. Document everything, keep a detailed record of all changes and their impact. Use standardized process. Like we see here, we already have a template here. That's the standardized process. I could use a standardized process and to help you in consistency, so that even if you have 2 changes or 3 changes within that project, all of them will be kind of uniformity. Prioritize change. Change must be prioritized. If like we recorded 3 changes, we must look for the change that brings the highest value. That's prioritization. Focus on changes that delivers most value and align with the project objective. Monitor and review. Continuously monitor the impact of the change and adjust as needed. And challenges in change management. Challenges. You see, number 1 here is scope creep. If you do not know how to manage it very well, if you just accept change without going through change request procedure or through change control board, you are shooting yourself on the leg, and don't do that. That's why you are here. After being in this boot camp and you go and be there, then you just come here to dash us some money. So scope creep, gradual uncontrolled changes can expand the project scope, leading to delay and cost overrun. You don't need that. As a young project manager, you don't need that. Communication gap. Poor communication can lead to misunderstanding and misapproval. You must document it very well. Make sure it's appropriately documented and communicated very well. Resource constraint. Limited budget or personnel may restrict the ability of implementing beneficial changes. In some projects, they will tell you, Mr. Eche, in this project, we have 10,000 pounds for this project. Mr. Eche, hold your ear. No more, no less. You are not getting a farthing outside 10,000, and that's it. So, if you are bringing a change in a scenario like this, you're on your own, because I already told you there are no, but you can still capture it and try your luck. Maybe they might change their mind, but you already know that here you have a resource constraint. So in a situation like that, you already know. But it's equally good to capture it and document it. Let it be that it was rejected because of limited resources. So take away, project change management is crucial for maintaining control over project scope, time, budget, and quality. A structured process like change request process ensure that project changes are evaluated, approved, and implemented effectively. Involving stakeholders, documenting changes, and prioritizing value-driven. Like I said, value-driven. You have to prioritize it, because you'll be seeing changes. Changes will be coming in project. They'll be flying, not coming, but they will be flying. That's why it's important. Don't think it's going to fly there. A lot will be flying to your table. So whichever one, prioritize them and make sure that value-driven adjustments are vital for successful change management. So that's it. So this is the end of my story. So if you have a missile, you can start firing your missiles. All right. All right, so Raphael. All right. Keep coming. The floor is open. Raphael, the floor is open.
Thank you, Mr. Charles. So thank you for taking your time to take us through the project change request management. Now, I have a question to ask regarding the templates which you shared. Now, I can see that there's no column where signature was appended, showing that, yes, we actually approved of this. So is that an omission, or like that would be like a standard template to use?
You already see where the approval, you already see who is the approval there. And they can put their signature there. You see project, all the signatory there, you put their it's not it's customizable template. But for you to see these people are there, you see you make provision for them to sign, and yeah, that's it. So that's not a big issue. You already see the signatories there. Their name alone is their signature. It's not only when they can sign against their names.
Okay.
That's the approval.
So, yeah, because I just believe that somebody can claim that, my name was written because it was typed, but then in terms of signing, you cannot go and forge some other person's signature. Of course, that would be like an impersonation.
No, we can't do that now. You have to go through change control board, and you see, it's if you have a change control board, it's a record. It's even the document is when they have it's not going to be only on your possession. Everybody that is going as part of the change control board should have a copy. They are reviewing, and at the end of the day, it's a unanimous decision. Not you. You are not even your own is to watch if they are going to approve or not, but you are just there. So they are the signature. They show approval. Once their name is there, that is what we call approval. Even if I write approval, once they say approval, a name and a date is an approval. A name and a date. So, and their name, their signature, it can be initial, but it must be approved, whichever way. All right.
Okay. My second question is this, and it's also coming as an advice. I'm currently working on a company's there's a project to install signages in a gas plant. So now there's a scope, there is change in scope, but the change will not affect the budget of the project, and it will not also affect the timeline of the project. So would it be necessary to come up with this form for them to sign, or for them to agree on the scope change?
But it's going to affect the quality.
No, it's not going to affect. It's not going to affect the quality.
How is it not going to affect the quality? Because when additional requirement is added, that is an alteration to the original quality.
There is no change then.
That is an alteration. For instance, let me give you an example now. You see here, as we see here, let me see, I can see Andrew. The name here is Noje Andrew. You can say, okay, I can just add Reverend Dr. Noje Andrew, but that is not what we capture here. It's an alteration. Like in our listing now, in our cost portal, the name you put there, we lock it. It's locked. You cannot even change the name. Before you can change your name, you must come to us. We are the board to review, because anybody can go out, you can change name or no. So before you can change the name on the course portal, it must come to the admin and will ask you, why didn't you put it when you are? You can say it is not to affect the course, just to add Mr. there. Why is it a bit, this guy being stubborn? But why didn't you put it before? So it's a quality. For me, I want my name to be very simple. You know, if you're trying to add a Woifi or Kakawan, you know, I want all those titles. It makes the name, it has affected the quality of that particular name.
Okay.
If you want to put it in international passport, it might start making it look so, you know, not so plain. Are you getting my point? So
yes.
Any alteration is a change, is affected the quality. You cannot say it does not affect the quality. Only if you look at the quality standard.
Okay. All right, thank you, sir.
But it's important, any deviation, that is what deviation is a deviation, must be accounted for. You must seek permission for to even if it's not affecting the timeline or the quality, has affected the project's charter. Has it not?
Yeah, it has. It has.
Yes.
So you have to.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
All right. Okay. Kennedy.
Good evening, Dr. Mr. Charles. I give you the word, doctor.
This
question is
this Mr. is still very good for you.
okay. Well, you should be a doctor. The wealth of knowledge. Yes, sir.
If one of you put your hand together and give it to me, I will accept.
Okay. I keep hearing of project variation. Is this the same thing as this project change?
Project variation.
Yes. Are they the same thing?
Well, variation depends on the context of where it varies. Where is it varying? So it depends on project variation. It's not that it's not a common language in projects as a term, but variation can be a deviation, or it can be there are two method of variance. Like we have methodologies of implementing a project can vary. So it depends on the context. We are talking about a variation.
They keep using it for additions. Maybe they want to add a particular, something that was not captured, that ought to have been captured.
No, it means they are not using the right terminology. The right term is this what we are discussing here. Change. Change request, additional change. When you are there is another input, is what we call it a change. That is its standard name. Anywhere you go professionally, we call it change request. Look for textbook, look for authorities, school of thought. It's called change request.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. And what we discussed is the process of capturing additional inputs.
Charles, please, my question has a link with what the last speaker said.
Okay, you jumped Mr. Okoro Andrew. Only if Okoro will give you permission to carry on.
Sorry, it's just that I was.
Let him go ahead, sir. Let him go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. All right, you can carry on. You've make sure you give him blessing when you finish speaking.
Don't worry, that's not a problem. Okay, Please, thank you very much. The Nigerian term for, among many Nigerian contractors is project variation. But my question is, I was linking it to what we had today. But my question was, what I was reflecting on is, like, there are some causes of change that are not foreseeable, like inflation. Would you call inflation variation a change, a kind of change request management?
Yes, it's still a change. But
because
if you remember, if you look at, let me take us to, let's take us back here. I'll say, causes of change or types of change. Okay. You see here, it doesn't matter whether it's unforeseen or foreseen, whether it's intentional or not intentional. You see, change in budget is change in budget, whether it's coming from the whatever, that is it. This is its inflation can cause us to have a change in budget. And that inflation, if we come back again, there is where we capture unforeseen circumstances, and there's a way I captured unforeseen circumstances. It can be from unforeseen circumstances, so it doesn't matter whether it's like I made a mention of COVID-19. Is a clear example of where we can have a change you didn't intend to have, but you still need to document it if there is the need to make an extension of timeline, or if they need to increase your budget. It doesn't matter. So if you find yourself in a situation like in Nigeria, where all of a sudden the price of things changed after your project, this is an extreme, we call it exceptional circumstance. You can go for exceptional circumstance. There's what we call exceptional circumstance. You can use it with it, but it's still a change in budget. Your budget have changed, so you still need to capture it. But the key term, while you are capturing it, is going to be unforeseen circumstance, exceptional circumstance, which is inflation. So if you look at this here, you have a title, the reason. Okay. You give it as a reason why there is this change. You must give a reason.
Okay, thank you very much.
You see here, can you see here? You give your reason for the change. You thought that is unforeseen, so you give a reason for this thing. If it's inflation, whatever is the reason, state the reason for this. If you come here, you can say budget, type of change here. You can put it budget, but here is scope. Are you getting my point?
Yes, very well.
So you capture it, and when the board is going to sit, this is what they are going to analyze. You say, unforeseen. If you tell them that there is a, then you give evidence. I said attach some documents to. You are not just going there to do unnecessary arguments with them, you know. So where is it? I say attach documents that is necessary to help you secure this approval. You know.
Yes.
Like I made attach. You see supporting documents here. If you are saying that is inflation, you need to bring the price of things. When you need to bring invoice of price, for instance, price of cement. If you started that project and the price of cement is 5,000, you bring the invoice when that approval was made, and the duration that the project is going to cover. Within that duration, there is inflation. That the price of things now, cement is now 15,000. You can get another invoice to show evidence of variation. Is that?
Thank you very much. Very correct.
So if you document that, anybody who is just trying not to approve is witch hunting you. You know, have witch hunters. So, all right. Michael.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Charles.
All right.
Quickly, I just want to ask, based on the template you gave, I want to ask, is it possible that one change request form can house multiple changes? Or is it every change comes with its own request form?
If you have every change is unique. Let me show us here. Is unique. You see here, this is what we call unique identifier.
Okay.
Unique ID. So every change you are bringing, bring their own request and document it. There is no need of you trying to squeeze everything in one. It's not difficult to create change requests, and that's why we talk about optimization, because we know we can have more than one change in a project. We can have up to 3 changes concurrently. So document 3 of them differently, because it's going to be evaluated differently by the board.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right. Okay. Want to say thank you everyone for your active engagement, and if you learn this, learn it very well, and don't let the Nigerian terminology confuse your best practice. They are saying that it's variation. You tell them because 90% of Nigerian project managers are quack. You know, I'm not hiding my mouth, because that's why we have a lot of abandoned projects here and there, because they are not trained. Anybody can be. You see all these wedding planners everywhere. They're all project managers. You see construction industry. You see, all of a sudden you see another small boy will just come up and tell you that he's now a project manager. He starts showing you houses. I build this house. I build this house. Show you picture. If you want to build a house, I can manage your project. Yes, people will follow him. People will trust him. But that doesn't make him a project manager. That you are executing a project does not make you a qualified or experienced or trained project manager. You know, so Food, cooking food in the house is a project. Does it mean that your wife now, who goes to market all the time, come up with a budget, is a trained project manager? So that is it. Follow best practice, follow best standard. Don't allow all this because it's not going to end here. Very soon, some of you will want to start having certification to decorate yourself, because you know Nigerians, we are very good in decorating ourselves, more especially some of us who do not come from tech background. You want to, like my class now, the people that just finished, I have 5 of them already PM. I've got their PMP certification, you know, and yeah. So, but what they are going to ask you is all these technical jargons we are talking about. That's why I want to try to learn all this technical jargon, what it means, because we are going to be seeing it when we are going to want to be more professional. Okay. Oladipo.
Yes. Yeah, good evening, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, please, my question is not on this topic that you just taught us now. I just want to ask regarding to the AI prompt engineering that we attended yesterday, and you gave us the price of 50K, and I sent a message to the group, but you never replied. I just seek, maybe you can reduce the price for us, for those people that want to need.
You see, I don't give the price of the actual price. I give affordable price, and everybody can attest to that. That is it. Before you see me give our price, I must make sure that it's affordable. Are you getting me? If you convert that 50 pounds, so 15,000 to pounds, where I use, because the resources, I use resources from here. How much is it? 50, so it's highly discounted. And if you want even this project management you are doing, if I want to give us the rate price, most of us will not be here because it's highly unaffordable. As the price of only business analysis, the browse it is £2,000, and I'm giving both project management and business analysis for 50,000. I just increased it to 70,000. Not because I don't know what is obtainable, but I want as many people as possible to participate. So, yeah, we are not selling pepper. I'm sorry. Yeah.
All right, sir, no problem.
Okay. All right, thank you, everyone, and we meet again tomorrow.
Thank you, Mr. Charles.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Charles.
All right. Good night.
Yeah, thank you, Charles. I will meet you in the other platform.
Okay. If you are coming, make sure you come with Holy Communion.
And a lot of blessings. Bye bye.
No, wahala.